Good morning, y'all. It's your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia. Back with another Create and Relate. Welcome to September 6th. It's Friday, y'all. One day from my favorite day of the week. I don't know why I love Saturday. I know why I love Saturdays so much. My mom and I used to wake up every Saturday morning, and after my newspaper route, which was at like 5:30 in the morning, we'd come home and get a box of cereal and crawl in the bed and look at cartoons. We'd look at cartoons until 12 o'clock, and then it was time for college football. And at that time, I was young. I wasn't really into football. I didn't really get into football until I was 7. My mom started trying to teach me football at the age of 3, and of course she was a Washington Redskins fan. So I was kind of forced into the Washington Redskin whatever fan club or whatever you want to call it. And then when I was 5, a little better understanding of the game, watching football a little more, I was a Miami Dolphin fan. This was from 5 to like 7. I got my newspaper route when I was just before I turned 7. Different time, y'all. Different time. And as long as you had an adult with you, they allowed it. Kept my newspaper route for like 3 years. No. Yeah, from 7 to 10. But yeah, when I was 7 years old, I had a much better understanding of the game. I was watching it. I was analyzing plays, the whole 9 yards. And I saw this one coach who was absolutely amazing. Anytime they did interviews or anytime they, spotlighted him on the sideline, he carried himself in a respectable manner. His players and everyone around him, the news reporters, everybody always addressed this man with respect. I never saw him yell. I never saw him, out of character. He was always just even keel, and you could get a little glimpse of a smile out of him every now and then. And his fedora, oh my goodness, was absolutely amazing. I think it was his trademark, and I think I liked it so much because my grandfather had a couple of caps. My grandfather was bald, and he had a couple of hats that he would wear, and I always loved him in his fedora. And that man's name, that coach's name, was Tom Landry. Yes, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. And because of him, I became a Dallas Cowboy fan. I didn't see this man running up and down the sidelines and, throwing stuff and, acting acting barbaric. He didn't do that. He was not that kind of coach. But his team performed in such a professional way, and I loved it, and it made my love for football grow, and then it became, which channel were we going to watch? Because, of course, living in Virginia, we're closer to the D.C. area, so we always got the Washington Redskins games, and we didn't always get the Dallas games, but I'm still a Dallas Cowboy fan, and am. But when I was 10 years old, I went to Florida. My aunt, uncle, and cousin had moved to Texas. had moved to Houston, Texas from Richmond, Virginia. And while we were down there was this famous horse down there that everyone loved to ride. And even though I believe Mr. Landry probably owned horses, he happened to be at this place that day riding the famous horse that I was waiting to ride. And when he dismounted, I was there ready to mount. And, we engaged in a little horse conversation. He asked me how long had I been riding, and I told him not long. I had only learned when I was 7, and how I learned to ride, and that I had been waiting to ride that horse because everybody always talked about it. And he was giving me some pointers, and in the middle of the conversation, I called him by name. I said, Mr. Landry. He goes, oh, so you know who I am? And I said, yes, sir. And I told him that I was a Dallas Cowboy fan because of him. And, of course, that made him smile. But the last thing he said to me before we parted company was, promise me that you will always be a Cowboy fan. And I said, yes, sir, I promised. And if there's anything you guys know about me, you know that I don't take promises lightly. I was true to my word. There have been times I've been disappointed in the team and have threatened to be another fan, but I have been with the Cowboys through the ups, the downs, the not so pretties, the beautifuls, the uglies. I'm not changing. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not. That's a marriage from which there is no divorce. I have already finished one round. I'm going to go ahead and do 2. Last night, once again, I'm going to stop telling myself that I'm doing a 24-hour challenge. I increased it to 26 hours to give myself time for those little naps and stuff I did. But y'all, about an hour in, when I woke up again, it was 4 something in the morning. So, I went to bed well before midnight. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was like almost 5 o'clock and almost time to get the kids up and get them ready for school. And of course that takes time, to get them up and bathed and dressed and make sure everything is pristine, teeth brushed and fed. And my baby girl, the little princess, had a project at school today, so we had to go over that. And then of course it was taking them to the bus stop. I'm sorry, I just had a cup of coffee. But I'm going to see. I'm not going to say I'm stopping the challenge, my personal challenge, but I am going to see just how many stitches I can get done. I told myself I was going to give myself 26 hours. And in that 26 hours, usually I try to do like at least 1,000 stitches an hour. So I was being fair to myself in the fact that I might take a nap or 2. Life is going to happen. So I said, okay, if I can do 20,000 stitches in 26 hours, that would be great. I could get a lot done. And, I'd be headed down the right path. Like I said. Whew. Maybe saying that I'm going to challenge myself is my night-night medicine. Because I haven't taken a sleeping pill in I don't know how long. And I'm grateful for that because I really don't like meds. I take them because I know that I need them. You know, my doctor and I have gone over. When I went to this doctor, I told her one of my goals was to come off of medication. And we went over the meds that I take and why I take them. And I understand that there are some that I absolutely have to take. Like, during the winter months, I know I have to take my vitamin D. Because over the late fall all the way to early spring, the sun does not offer the same level of vitamin D as it does during late spring to mid-fall. So even sitting outside in the sun every day like I used to do, and then knowing that I've stopped doing that, I wasn't getting my proper amount of vitamin D. So I take a weekly capsule to keep that level up. And then having this fluid issue that I've had since April, my fluid pill has been increased. Of course, we know why I'm taking the fluid pill. That's obvious. But because we had to increase the dosage, we have to maintain the potassium levels. So I take this big, huge potassium pill. Now my blood pressure pill, only one, thank God, it used to be 3. It's more for the purpose of helping to regulate my heartbeat than blood pressure. My blood pressure only rises in stressful situations or after a great deal of movement, like when anybody's blood pressure rises. So we pretty much got that part under control. Let me see, fluid pill, potassium, vitamin D, of course the aspirin a day. I am a heart patient. There are 2 more. Oh, the ibuprofen. Okay, so I actually ran out of ibuprofen, which was probably a good thing, which may have contributed to the extra aches and pains I was feeling, because I was taking one of those Gigantors once a day, but I had ibuprofen here at home. So instead of taking 800 milligrams a day, I was only doing because it's current, only doing 400 milligrams a day. So hopefully when my prescription comes through, I can cut those in half and just do one a day, a half a day rather. And the last one, I call it my happy pill, because my anxiety has really been talking to a sister here lately. Okay, so I've done 2 more rounds. This is where I am. I have a nice little bowl that I'm proud of. I'm real happy with the way it's looking. I am going to run out of the tan first, and it will be replaced with the slate blue. So I will be back at the blue, cream, and black. So 2 things did happen before I went to sleep. I did a squunchy, and I also did a hat. And I did that out of that squirrel yarn that I got from Temu. I told myself, look, I have got to get this stuff out of here. I have to stop procrastinating. So I went ahead and I got that done. So I don't know what I'm going to be working on today, but I am going to be hooking a lot of yarn today. Gotta do it. I have to catch up. So I might not reach that 20,000 mark, but I'm going to put such a dent in it that it's going to be almost miraculous. And is I'm going to talk a little bit today about self again. But the place I'm coming from is a happy place. I want to talk to you about self-indulgence. I'm going to put two together. Self-pampering. You have to take care of you. You have to look out for you. You have to pamper yourself. You have to make yourself feel good. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Don't wait for somebody else to give you a spa day. And even if you're in the financial situation that I'm in, spa days don't necessarily have to be going to the most expensive spas and getting massages and facials and pedicures and manicures. You know, you can set aside an hour or two for yourself a day at home. Put you some bubble bath. You know, if you got the right kind of soap, it works. Trust me. If you take that bar soap and just rub it under the faucet and build you up a little bubbles, just so you can have some smell good and some bubbles, and you sit in it, say 15 to 30 minutes. Read a book if you want to, light you some candles, however you want to do it. Just sit back and soak and relax. Take your cloth and just lay it across your face until it gets cool. Wet it again, wring it out, lay it across your face until it gets cool. And as you feel it, you can, and I'm not saying slap, just take your fingertips. All over your face, just fingertips. Just enough to get those nerves to tingling. I don't know if you remember, but I don't use soap on my face. So once you get all of that going, from your neck up to your chin, I do a breathing exercise with mine. I inhale here and exhale as I'm rubbing up. I do that about 5 to 10 times. Wiggle my toes, spirit fingers, and just let everything go. Spend at least 3 to 5 minutes just meditating. Just let your fingers and your toes wiggle at will. Just let them go. And just forget. Let everything just float away. All the pain, all the stress, all the worry, all the nonsense, all the craziness. Just let it all just kind of float away. And then when you stop from there, you can go ahead and bathe and get out. Only wrap yourself in a towel or a robe, because you're going to air dry. You are going to air dry. But before you completely dry, moisturize. However you choose to do it. If it's a lotion that you have, use your lotion. I'm a coconut oil kind of girl, because it's not heavy, it's not thick, it doesn't settle on the skin like real heavy. You might have a little sheen for a little while, and that's cool. But when you go back and rub your skin, all you feel is soft. You don't feel oily, even though it's called coconut oil. But you just rub yourself down, lay back, and dry, air dry, just, and always breathe. Always breathe. Breath is life. That's how we came into existence. God breathed the breath of life into us. Breathing is so important. So important. So always breathe. Don't even concentrate on releasing stress and worry. Just breathe. If you focus on the breathing alone, everything else will come naturally. you can just feel it all those toxins, you can just feel release. Then I'm going to tell you to do something really, really strange. Starting with your toes and working your way up. Tighten every muscle in your body as tight as you can. All the way up. Hold it for about 5 seconds and release. And just go back until you'll just feel like you're sinking into a cloud. And most people at this point will go to sleep. But if you're one of the lucky ones, or you've done it like I tend to do it, if you're a makeup person at this point, you can apply your base coat of makeup. I wouldn't suggest you go any further than that. If you want to paint your nails or whatever, you know, you do your own little manicure and maybe your little pedi, and all you got on is your foundation. Okay? Then from there you can pick out your outfit or whatever you plan to do for the day. And once you get everything settled and ready to get into, then you want to do your eyeliner. Why? Eyeliner, I have found, because I used to wear makeup, eyeliner I have found looks so much better when it's not fresh. It tends to look kind of fake and cakey when it's fresh. But after it's had time to go through a few blinks, it looks more natural. It does. When I want rouge, then I'll bend over for a little bit, slowly stand back up. Cheeks are just like a woman. They usually last a little bit. I don't hit myself hard. It's just, you know, the little fingertip thing. And then, like I said, I bend over and I stand back up. And all this area right here is a natural light blush. It works for me. It may not work for everybody, but like I said, you can pamper yourself. If you're doing any kind of self-challenge, the biggest thing like weight loss or increasing your steps or committing to go to the gym 3 days a week for a month or whatever you choose to do, treat yourself when you're done. Give yourself something to work for. Because if you're just out here willy-nilly in it and doing it for no purpose, you tend not to stick to it. Okay? My belief is you can almost do anything you want to do as long as it's done in moderation. Those things that you can't do, you know that you can't. Like my oldest daughter cannot even be in the same room with blueberries. Cannot. My grandson is developing more than a sensitivity to peanuts. I'm not even supposed to be around shrimp, but I'm hard-headed. Hard-headed, yo. I will take my EpiPen and put it close to me, pop a Benadryl, and eat all the shrimp I want. As a matter of fact, last night I cooked shrimp fried rice. So I had to devein the shrimp by myself. Definitely not supposed to be touching raw shrimp. The acid is so high. But, like I said, pop the Benadryl, put my EpiPen right there on the countertop. I deveined those shrimp. I sauteed my peppers and onions and seasoned it as I sauteed it. Put a little bit of basic Chesapeake Bay seasoning in it, being that we live like right outside of Chesapeake and right off the Chesapeake Bay. And then I put my shrimp in there and sauteed them down. I had already pre-cooked my rice, put my rice in there, let everything just kind of simmer together. And I use nothing but canola oil and country crop, the 1/3 less salt. Like I told you, we're not a big salt family. So that was all the seasoning I used. When I used the seasoning, I used garlic and herb, smoked paprika, and garlic powder. And then I used the little bit of Chesapeake Bay seasoning. When I did my broccoli and cauliflower, I steamed it down with just a teaspoon actually of the country crock, and I did my corn the same way. So, and my cornbread mix, I used Jiffy. I did, and we used whole milk. I used whole milk as opposed to the 2% milk. Then my 2 eggs, just like it said on the package, instead of adding anything. I remember back in the day I used to add like a quarter cup of sugar, because I always use 2 boxes. So I would add a quarter of a cup of sugar, and then I would take 2 tablespoons of sugar and mix them really, really well in 2 tablespoons of hot water until I got a glaze. And I would throw that over the top. Not yesterday. I cooked it just like it was supposed to be cooked and topped it with 2 packs of butter. Used my brush to brush on those 2 packs of butter. And I had my cornbread, and the kids ate. I mean, the kids ate. The biggest shocker when my daughter got up, because my daughter doesn't eat like she's supposed to at all, and she's really picky about eating other people's food. My daughter ate everything that I cooked except the cornbread because she couldn't find it. We had put it back in the oven. This was well after the oven had cooled. I don't like my bread hard, so we wait until the oven cools and we'll put it back in the oven to keep it. And she didn't know it was in there until this morning. And my grandson was going over what he had for dinner last night and everything and saying how good it was, and he was like, and the cornbread. My daughter came rushing out of the bathroom. She was like, huh? Cornbread? What? I was like, it was in the But yeah, it felt good to be in there and, cooking for the family. Y'all, think about it. Like a month ago, there was no way in the world I could have done that. No way in the world I could have done that. So, like I said, I went to the store, I picked up everything I needed, I came home, I was able to do it. And to me, that was a part of self-indulgence because, I could have waited for my daughter to wake up from her nap and cook, but I wanted to do, this was something I wanted to do, not wait for somebody else. I wanted to do this. And I was able to get up and do it. And that's what you have to do for yourself sometimes. Even if what you want to do is for somebody else. Do it. Do it, especially if it's not going to hurt them. You know what I'm saying? The only person in here with an allergy to seafood is me. Is me. So I wasn't, trying to hurt anybody or anything. And it made me feel good that everybody partook and everybody enjoyed it. And that just made my heart feel that much better. And the pampering, the self-pampering that I do, oh God. I already told you about one thing that I do. I have the massager. When I was taking physical therapy after the car accident, I started using it on my hips and my shoulders. And I was like, wait a minute. So sometimes when I'm in that air drying state, I will use it on my thighs, the sides and the back of my thighs. I'll use it on my sides. I'll use it right across in here. And y'all, if you put it on like a low setting and just concentrate in those areas for just a couple of minutes, each area, it is so relaxing. It feels so good. I don't know if it's the vibration of it or, the amount of pressure that I use. I don't know. I don't even care. It just feels really, really, really good. So find out what feels good for you. And like I said, you don't always have to spend lots of money to do that. Whatever you enjoy. If it's taking it, if it's going to the store, finding the bestseller, and then going home, locking yourself in a space for an hour. I'm going to read for an hour. This is what I want to do. And you set aside that time and you just read, block out everything else and go to that little fantasy land. Do that. Do that. Self-pampering, self-indulgence. Indulge, babies. Do that. So, health tip, I guess you know. Health progress. I feel really good today. I really, really do. I'm gonna shoot for those 20,000 stitches. Right now, I don't see it. But it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna shoot for it. I already did 160 while I was sitting here talking to you guys, and have had room to do many more. But the rest of the Dollar Tree yarn that I got, I want to go ahead and get it into a ball. I want to work on my neighbor's blanket some more. I have a few ideas for Boggy Creek blankets. I looked up the dimensions. I think it said 60 by 80. And I'm going to work on those as well. I'm going to go check a few sites and see if I can email some people to verify the sizes. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're gonna get some stuff done. We are. It may not be all in crocheting, but as long as I make some accomplishments along the way, be fine with me. I'll be happy. So, babies, I'm going to leave you with the fact that I love you. And I already know you love me too. But you guys, please, 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 please love on yourself. Love yourself. Love in yourself. Because you deserve this. You deserve this. I so mean that. I so mean that. I would like to send a quick shout out and thank you to my subscribers, and I encourage you to continue to come back and view more content. To please comment, please comment, share, subscribe, like, please hit those thumbs up, guys. Please hit those thumbs up. I really need those. I really need those, and it doesn't cost you anything but a click. Just click. Now, if you feel so inclined, you can always buy me a coffee. That link is in my description as well. And I would appreciate that because I do drink my coffee. But you guys have an awesome day. Welcome again to Friday, September 6th. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. Peace out.